Go-to bread for Thanksgiving, Jessica.
Bread?
Yeah.
Hawaiian rolls.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You said that quick.
That's because we just had this conversation. Chris did the grocery shopping yesterday, and he called and said, what rolls should I get? And he said, never mind. Sweet Hawaiian rolls right here. I said, thank you for understanding. What's yours? Is there another answer?
Probably yeast rolls. Yeast rolls, cornbread, Hawaiian roll would be low on there for me.
I love Hawaiian roll.
I just want the bread to enhance the flavor of the food that I'm eating, the heavy, rich food that I'm eating. And Hawaiian rolls have their own little dance going on over on the side. I want somebody.
So does cornbread.
Cornbread goes well.
I love cornbread, but cornbread is a dancer.
Cornbread pairs well with greens, those liquidy sides, greens, the yams. Even throw some in with the mac and cheese as well. Like the cornbread goes well with those. Whereas I feel like Hawaiian roll is sort of doing its own thing. Like Hawaiian roll is a solo act. It's Beyonce and Destiny's Child, right? It's not Candy and what's the group Candy?
Did you see the Destiny's Child reunion this weekend?
No.
They went and saw Michelle Williams is in a new show on Broadway.
Oh, they went to see it.
And they went to see it.
I do
Beyonce
enjoy.
showed up, and I haven't bought my tickets to that show yet. It's on the list of shows I want to see when I go, and now it's gonna get the Beyonce spike. That's stupid of me, but it was fun to see. All three of them were there together.
Candy was in Escape. I had to Google it. I forgot which group. Candy, Tiny, and the rest of them, right? Like they all worked together. Beyonce was like that. That's my only. But Hawaiian
Beyonce
roll,
is the sweet Hawaiian roll?
Yes. Okay. Hawaiian rolls are delightful. Those are good foods. Hawaiian roll for leftovers.
Perfect.
Like doing the sandwiches for leftovers on the Hawaiian roll. Yeah. That's cool. But as far as like actual Thanksgiving, I prefer geese roll. What was the song?
Speaking of Beyonce.
Oh.
Sweet Honey Buckin'.
Okay.
Off of Cowboy Carter.
Is that gonna make your top 10?
Oh, it's sure. That song?
Yeah.
No, but the album is.
Are we doing top 10 albums?
No.
Okay.
But like when the Apple Music review comes out, whatever their version of Spotify Wrapped is, if Cowboy Carter is not my number one listened to album, something has gone horribly wrong. What's up, everybody? It is Monday, November 25th. Gonna be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, the Grizzlies got a big win in Chicago over the weekend. Scotty Pippen Jr. shined in his dad's old home. Plus, an encouraging injury update as the Grizzlies begin 4 games in 7 nights here in Memphis starting tonight against the Trailblazers. We'll get into all of that. Big weekend in college football with all kinds of upsets and calamity, how that shakes out for the future of the college football playoff this season. The NFL had a big weekend as well. Gary Parrish will join us about 40 minutes in. The Memphis Tigers have a big old game in Maui today, taking on the defending back-to-back national champions in UConn. We'll end with a little Hot Mess Express, a variety of field stormings. Does Kendrick Lamar have beef with Father John Misty? Fred VanVleet is going to get fined. We'll get into all of that on a Monday. You know what they say, mustard!
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of up to $340,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Here Comes Santa kicks off November 24th. Get 1 free entry and earn additional entries for weekly Saturday drawings. Don't forget the grand finale drawing on Saturday, December 21st to win up to $5,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quoting, call 800-522-4700.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzlies stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Looking for unique gifts and the spirit of Memphis? The Memphis Grizzlies are hosting Grizz Shop Local in the Grand Lobby of FedEx Forum. On November 30th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., discover a curated collection of Memphis and Mid-South small businesses all in one place. From handmade art to delicious treats, you can find something special for the holidays while supporting the heart of our community. Come join us on November 30th and support Memphis by shopping local.
For the sunshine, gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up? What's up? Happy Monday, everybody. I think we are back functioning like 95%, CJ? What percentage are you giving it? It's a little gravelly still, as the laryngitis of the larynx works its way out.
I will pour one out. Pour one out for Barry White Benson.
Aw. She was a good version.
She was great. She was my favorite version of Jessica.
I will say it's been a complete bummer to not have a voice this weekend because all I wanted to do was sing Wicked songs all weekend long. Instead, all I could do was simply hold space for the lyrics of Defying Gravity. If you know, you know. If you don't, congratulations for not being chronically online. I will give my full Wicked review on Thursday in our Theater Thursday segment.
You won't give it on Thursday.
I'll give it tomorrow.
Are you?
I don't know.
Okay.
Quickie, TLDR, 10 out of 10.
Really?
10 out of 10. It does what so many movie versions of musicals misses on, and that is it completely captures the heart of the original stage production, and then some. It's like a love letter to the original Wicked. It was fantastic. I know you're seeing it next weekend, but this was my face the entire time.
Okay.
Except when I cried.
Did
3
you cry
times.
how many times?
3 times. And it was so embarrassing because the people I was with all looked at me as it started, and I'm not bawling, but like heavy tears are coming down before the movie even began.
Are you wiping your eyes with the popcorn soaked napkins?
I had the Elphaba popcorn bucket for one.
Here we go.
So I came prepared.
Here we go.
And then I was just kind of like dabbing here and there. But, okay, very quick tangent. I know we have so much sports to get to, and the Grizzlies played, and the Grizzlies play tonight, and the Grizzlies have a million games this Thanksgiving week, and get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. I was crying before the movie even began, which, yes, was partially tied to the fact that it was Wicked, and I have all this nostalgia, and it's a wonderful show, and I was like so anticipatory for this movie. But another piece of it was I was there with my husband and 3 friends, And in that moment, I was so nostalgic for the olden days of my life of being so excited for a movie with a group of friends like that I have not had, I think, since the final Harry Potter movie. I am admittedly not a Marvel girly, so I don't get that kind of feeling. Like, I loved The Avengers, it was a great movie, and I loved the reactions of people around me, but I didn't feel that in my soul. And so for the first time, I was sitting there so giddy to watch a movie with friends, and I have that experience so infrequently as an adult, and that was such a big part of my childhood, and that contributed to me crying. So then you stack that on top of good news, she's dead, and I was gonna cry. So I can't wait for you to see it. And I can't wait for all of you to see it. Everyone should see it.
We'll get your full review in
Tuesday
TV
or Wednesday. We'll do it at some
point. Theater Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Entertainment Media Tuesday.
All right.
All right. Beyond the Wicked movie coming out Friday, Kendrick Lamar dropped a surprise album on Friday, has everybody screaming mustard all weekend. We had NBA Cup action Friday, but we don't talk about that because we're in Memphis and the NBA Cup is out of sight, out of mind. Saturday was one of the craziest days of the college football season that we've had. The Grizzlies, a win over the Chicago Bulls in Chicago, the Scotty Pippen Jr. of it all we'll get into. Sunday, all the NFL action. And then, I don't want it to get missed, and if I don't mention it right now, it won't get mentioned. UCLA went out and ended South Carolina women's basketball's 43-game winning streak. Woman handled them. Thank you for the correction there.
You're
it
welcome.
felt like Don Staley's team was never going to lose, and then UCLA stepped up and said,
And
we're going to beat you.
And they've got South Carolina has another matchup where it is, oh boy, if you can't handle Betts, I'm not sure you can handle Cooks for Iowa State. And they play them on Thanksgiving Day. So this is, oh boy, South Carolina needs a big girl. They don't have a big, they finally got some shooters. They got a bunch of athletes. They don't have anybody with size like Leah Boston who can handle things in the paint. But even that's not where they lost it. They lost it on the perimeter. UCLA just couldn't miss.
No. Other women's basketball game I watched over the weekend, I watched the USC Notre Dame game, which we don't have to speak of. USC football won, it's all that matters. They're bowl eligible, oh thank God.
There we go.
But that Notre Dame team, Coach Neil Ivey, she's got a squad. And that duo of Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles might be the best duo in women's college basketball.
What's Hidalgo's classification? If you don't know, I'll look it up.
Sophomore? Because wasn't she a freshman last year?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm pretty sure she's a sophomore. But they were tremendous. Anyway, big college basketball game today for the Memphis Tigers as they face UConn in Maui. We will talk to Gary Parrish about all of that. But the Grizzlies did beat the Chicago Bulls over the weekend on Saturday night, 142 to 131. Scotty Pippen Jr. was incredible. 30 and 10 in the gym where his dad played. It was the kind of story that felt too unrealistic to be a story, but here we are. I'm reading this great book right now, 11/22/63. It's a Stephen King book. It's about time travel, and he often says that history doesn't repeat itself, but it is harmonic, and that felt like a harmonic moment for Scotty Pippen Jr. on Saturday because the last time somebody scored 25 or more points on 80% shooting and had 8+ assists in the United Center, it was Scotty Pippen. So from one Scotty Pippen to another, it was a really special night. I believe I saw that the Bulls broadcast even made Scotty Pippen Jr. the player of the game. Like, there felt to be true admiration from the Chicago media, from people in Chicago. I saw Mike Wallace posted that one of the longtime Chicago reporters, Sam Smith, actually came to the Grizzlies locker room after the game to congratulate Scotty and chat with him for a little bit. But that was really cool to see. And then the fact that Scotty Pippen Jr. and Jalen Wells combined to go 23 of 40 from the field, that's how you win a game when you still give up 131 points. Jalen Wells, 6 of 10 from 3 in that game for a career-high 26. Again, they won 142-131, so they win by double digits in spite of the Bulls shooting 50% from the field, the Bulls shooting 19 of 42 from 3. You had Zach LaVine, 29 points on 10 of 19 shooting. You had Vucevic, 26 points on 9 of 14 shooting. The efficiency up and down the Bulls roster, certainly not one of the Grizzlies' better defensive performances of the year, but if you're going to have one of your worst defensive games, you better have your best offensive game. And the Grizzlies, 57% from the field, also made 19 threes. You get the 30 points from Scotty Pippen Jr., you get 26 from Jalen Wells, Jaren Jackson Jr. with 23. Ultimately, 8 players scoring in double figures. The ball's moving all over the place, 38 assists on those 55 made baskets. They only, and I say only, turned it over 14 times because turnovers continue to be a problem for this team, and they're averaging, I think, 17 turnovers a game, so 14 below average. And they get a win in Chicago, which is encouraging to start this stretch, a stretch of games that we illuminated as a very winnable stretch for the Grizzlies. And I have something controversial to say, CJ.
What?
Let's go streaking. Let's go streaking.
That's
I am
not that
ready
controversial.
for a true. Okay, thank you. It's a family week.
Just
okay.
take my pants off.
I'm sorry. I forgot that I can't ever say that to you
What?
because you will take it dead seriously in the midst of the show.
Are we streaking down Bill?
No.
Streaking in the
We're
offices?
streaking wins.
My pants are off.
We're streaking wins.
Take my shirt off.
HR. We just had an HR meeting about this.
It's only a
I didn't
problem
go.
if you don't want it and you want it.
If they knew what just transpired in the last 60 seconds of this show, I think we would have to go back.
I got a hustle player.
And do it again.
I got a hustle player to sign my belly.
Who signed your belly?
Baycott. Excuse me.
Armando Baycott signed your
Baycott.
belly?
Yeah, he signed my belly.
You, a grown man,
Yes.
asked Armando Baycott to
Yes.
sign your belly.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like, what? It's like my belly. He said,
CJ and I
okay.
went to the hustle game on Saturday.
So I say all that to say that HR training, I might
Out
need to
the
take
window.
it again.
Yeah.
I'm harassing.
You might need to
all
work
my
on your
coworkers.
active listening.
Maybe.
You're harassing.
I'm harassing.
You put the Harris in harassment.
You know I do.
You sure do. Well, I don't want you to go streaking.
Okay.
It's going to get a little cold. It's going to be a little nippy out starting maybe like Wednesday, Thursday.
Shrinkage.
I want this team to go
Oh.
streaking because the longest win streak the Grizzlies have had this season is 3 games when they beat the Lakers, the Wizards, and the Trailblazers. Tonight they play the Trailblazers. They have an opportunity to begin tying their longest streak of the season thus far because they beat the Sixers, they beat the Bulls. If they beat the Trailblazers tonight, that will tie their longest winning streak of the season. But as we have said, their next games are against the Trailblazers, the Pistons, the Pelicans, and the Pacers. Those are all below 500 teams. Those are all teams that the Grizzlies should be favored against. And we got a positive injury update because Ja Morant has moved up to questionable. And we know if someone moves up to questionable, Ja Morant will likely be a game-time decision tonight against the Portland Trailblazers. And at the bare minimum, Ja Morant will come back this week at some point. But I would really not be surprised to see him on the court to start this 4-game homestand for the Grizzlies on this holiday week with a lot of people in the city, a lot of people anxious and antsy to see Ja back on the court. And that symbolizes a real chance to not just go maybe 4-1 in this stretch, but to put the hammer down and go 5-0. Let's get a 5-game winning streak going for this team, a team that has only had 2 games thus far this season where Ja and Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. have all played together. And yet, they're top 10 in both offensive rating and defensive rating. One of 5 teams to be in the top 10 of both those categories. And let me repeat, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane have only played 2 games together. And it wasn't even 2 full games because Desmond Bane got hurt in the second one, which was the second game against the Brooklyn Nets. The one that they all played fully together was the game against the Orlando Magic. They won that game. That was when the Magic still had Paolo Banchero. Magic were one of the best teams early on this season. The Grizzlies got the win. I am very encouraged for this upcoming stretch for the Memphis Grizzlies, CJ.
All right, listen, they got, to your point, they got to win some games. They got to start putting these wins, stacking these wins on top of one another. And this is a perfectly good time to do it. It's a favorable schedule of home games. 1, it's at home. And 2, these aren't like the best teams in the NBA. It's not like you're going Celtics, Cavs, Warriors, back to the Celtics, right? Like these are all teams that you can get, especially if you can run out there with Ja, Jaren, and Dez for most of these games. I'm not sure if they'll play all of them, but for most of them, you should be able to win, go 4-1, and hell, to your point, go 5-0. This is when we start looking at the standings towards the end of the season. It's like, oh, the Grizzlies went on this nice run right here, and this is why they are a 3 seed instead of a 4 seed, or a 4 seed instead of a 5 seed, or 6 instead of in the play-in, right? Like, this is when those types of things happen. And so, yeah, I'm with you. They got to win these. They need to win every game. But these are the types of games with a favorable schedule that you absolutely have to take advantage of if you're the Memphis Grizzlies.
Because right now, a 10-7 record in the West is good for 7th in the Western standings. If you were 10-7 in the East, you'd be in 4th.
We got to stop doing that. You're not
I'm
in the
just saying
East.
it's a fact. If you were 10-7 in the East, you'd be in 4th.
I understand
But you're not. You're in the West,
So-
and it hammers home the point of the importance of every game.
Sounds like people are pouting and moping once again this year about not being in the East. Just focus on your conference. Let the other conference figure itself out. Does it suck that conference is what that conference is? Sure. But you're not over there complaining about it sucking. Isn't going to help you any. Get your ass over here. Focus on the West. Pay attention over here.
Pay attention over here. Also, for the smattering of people who have decided that they want to form a narrative that Desmond Bane should come off the bench, just stop it. Just stop it. I'm not even going to go any further. You are not serious people. You are not serious people.
Hey, where are you with this Desmond Bane for All-Star campaign?
Okay, it's taking a quick detour as he comes back around.
Speaking of
okay,
unserious people, I got
he
you.
came back in the second half
Listen,
that game.
I'm fine.
I'm
only pointing out that there exist 2 extremes right now as it pertains to Desmond Bane. Bring it off the bench, and this dude is an all-star. Right, he's in the middle. He's firmly in the middle. Really, really good.
You've
Not
taken
an
a
all-star.
train, haven't you?
I have rode a train before.
You know, sometimes the train is a little late.
Come on, ride the train.
And the Bay train,
then ride it.
even if it's a little late,
Come on, ride the train. The choo-choo
it always
train.
comes back around.
Come on.
It's got
It's the
100%
choo-choo.
arrival rate. Once you get back out there, once you get the
on.
consistency.
Does it have 100% arrival rate?
That was maybe
I
a
feel like
stretch. That's like me talking
I'm
as
trying to remember.
Amtrak.
Okay.
You know, they'd like to say like 100% arrival to your destination. You get there eventually. Sometimes the emphasis is on the eventually. Marcus Smart should be back tonight too.
Say what?
Marcus Smart should be back tonight too. He's
Okay.
not on the injury report, coming off the illness. All those things coming up for the Grizzlies. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, CJ did not see the video that I posted yesterday that some of you have referenced in the chat.
Jacob points out, other Jacob is directing, he points out that the Bane train might be the most reliable form of public transportation in this city. And as somebody who rides the buses, I think I agree.
I think it's
I
correct.
agree.
We need more of that.
I'd love for the
Still riding
buses
the
to be as consistent as Desmond Bane is.
All right, we're gonna take a break. I'll tell CJ what my epiphany was coming out of anesthesia a couple weeks ago. It involves the Memphis Grizzlies. Then we'll get into some college football. CJ and I argued extensively about Indiana, Ohio State for like 30 minutes on Friday. Guess what? It really doesn't matter because the SEC had a bunch of teams pick up their 3rd loss. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
I can't tell you how many people texted me and thought it was the funniest thing ever that you were sitting on the front row in your jersey.
Yo, no.
You were wearing a Tony Allen jersey on the front row. They're like, yo, tell him to check in.
That joke was smeedy. I told Tia, I said,
I
did
have
a hoodie on, though. I mean, a sweater. I told Tia, you should have sized up on that joint, man. Yo, shout out to Robin Hood, man.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's the top 5 worst teams in the NFL. I think the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
I got the Saints number 1. Ha! Let's put the Aints up there. They're terrible.
I'll take the Titans as my worst team in the NFL. If they played Will Levis, they're for sure the worst team. Maybe in NFL history. Might be worse than the 0-16 Lions if they play Will Levis.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
They Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Who will lead the Grizz in steals this season?
I'm going to go with Pippen for steals this season.
So I'm going to go with Jaren. I'm going to go, as long as he's in the rotation, I'm going to go Jake LaRavia for total steals, and I'll have Marcus Smart in my back pocket for steals per game.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Welcome back. Grizzlies Trailblazers tonight at FedEx Forum. Tips off 4 games in 7 nights here in Memphis. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. With Ja Morant questionable, perhaps we will see Ja, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Marcus Smart all playing a game together this season. It has been a rarity. It would be fun to see. It is one of those things that continues to make me believe in this Grizzlies team. And CJ, you might ask, Jessica, how much do you believe in the Grizzlies this season? And consciously, I would tell you, I'm pretty high on the team. One, because I sit here with FedEx Forum behind me, and it's easy to get swept away, but because I do believe that given how efficient they've been on both ends of the court, despite not being at full strength, has been really encouraging. Subconsciously, apparently I'm all in, because as CJ knows, and as I told the world on social media yesterday, a couple weeks ago, I had a colonoscopy at the fine age of 32. Everything's good, everything's great. I was just trying to get some extra stuff checked out. But when I came out of anesthesia, my friend Kelly, who took me to my colon, everyone needs a friend who is willing to leave the middle of their workday and take you to your colonoscopy. Get one now, everybody, and when you turn 45, get checked. And if you have any weird symptoms digestively, you should get checked now because colon cancer rates are on the rise in young people. But Kelly came, and not only did she come, she was prepared with her phone when I came out of anesthesia. And CJ, who has not seen this video, this is what I had to say.
Yeah, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're gonna win it all. I dreamt it.
Do you feel like it was a prophecy, an anesthetic prophecy?
God, they looked at my colon and I said, I can't have anything wrong. The Grizzlies are so good. Yeah. The Memphis Grizzlies, they're gonna win.
There you have it, CJ.
Why's your hand on your nose like that?
I don't know. I'm under anesthesia.
Why are you coming out
Why did I wear fake eyelashes to my colonoscopy? There's a lot of questions involved in that video.
Did you not come straight after work?
I did, as you know.
Yeah. That's why they were there.
I made it through that show by the seat of my pants.
Very brown seat.
Oh my God, no, do not tell people, don't spread a rumor. That was rude. I officially made it to the bathroom every single break. And I was so scared to come in. And Chris Luther, my dear husband, told me that I shouldn't work that day because if I did poop my pants at work, I would never live it down and you would never let me live it down. But I didn't.
I'm not that way.
I don't know, it'd be pretty hard to live down.
I'd let it go. I'd understand there was medical reasonings behind it.
Would you?
Yeah. I wouldn't bring it up for like a decade, and then I'd bring it up. And we're not gonna. Let's be honest. We're not gonna be talking to each other a decade from now.
Yeah, you're done. Bye.
I will be fired. You'll be here running things, and it'll be all to the good.
I'll remember when.
Oh yeah, Grizzlies win it all according to Jessica. Why is that?
It's my colon prophecy.
Why is that where?
It's a great question.
We're calling it the colon prophecy.
It's the colon prophecy.
You've got the video.
The poop prophecy.
The poop prophecy. Perfect. This team goes deep in the playoffs. We're going to run that video again. And we're going to have like poop prophecy graphics.
Like a rainbow with a little piece, like a poop emoji.
Yeah. Different.
Perfect.
But like the rainbow is different shades of brown and green.
No, that's too much. That's too far.
What do you mean that's too far?
It has to be pretty still.
Brown.
People get really weirded out talking about poop.
Wait. Brown isn't pretty?
No, poop isn't pretty, CJ.
I said brown, different shades of brown and green. And you said brown isn't pretty.
Yeah, because if you're putting shades of brown and green in a rainbow while saying it's the poop prophecy,
Jessica,
I wonder where people's brain is going to go.
I'm just telling you that you said brown wasn't pretty.
I hate you so much.
That's all. As a furthest right person on this show.
Thank you.
As the most correct person on the show.
I really appreciate it in this moment.
I feel like I need to step in.
I really appreciate it.
See something, say something,
yes,
Jessica.
as Steven asked in the chat, I did come to work during the cleanse because I am a psycho.
A maniac.
An absolute maniac. I did after that go on a long diatribe about how much I love Chris. So those were my two things. And my friend Kelly was like, you hate capitalism so much, and yet the first thing you talked about coming out of anesthesia was your job. I said, this isn't a job, this is a lifestyle. The grind never stops.
Yes, it does.
All right, Grizzlies are going to win it all. You heard it here first from me coming out of my colonoscopy. It was a wild Saturday in college football. Number 7, Alabama gets beat by an Oklahoma team that was 5-5 going into Saturday. Number 9, Ole Miss gets beat by a Florida team that was 5-5 going into Saturday. Number 14, BYU gets beat by number 21, Arizona State, where fans stormed the field with 1 second left on the clock.
We saw that coming, though, didn't we?
We sure did.
Okay, go ahead.
But gives the Big 12 4 teams who are 6-2 in conference play because number 16 Colorado got beat by Kansas, which is something I saw coming. And then number 15 Texas A&M got beat by Auburn in quadruple overtimes, and we got dueling 2-point conversions. And my little eyes were closing on Saturday night. I was like, I must keep watching this game. And Auburn finally comes out with the win. Penn State also barely beat Minnesota, but one of these things is not like the other. Penn State did beat Minnesota, so they avoid having the catastrophe that these other teams experienced on Saturday. And now, here we stand where you and I talked about Indiana and what would happen to Indiana if they lost to Ohio State. And I said, as long as they were within 1 touchdown, I thought Indiana should still be in the college football playoff. But now, despite Indiana not just losing by 1 touchdown on Saturday to Ohio State, the final score there being 38-15 Ohio State, I still think they're in now because you have Alabama and Ole Miss who couldn't take care of business. You're shaking your head. Indiana's not in your top 12.
Arizona State took care of business. Arizona State is in there.
You want my hot take?
Hit it.
Keep out the Big 12. Keep them out.
Keep out.
Keep out the Big 12.
What do you mean keep out the Big 12?
You ready for it? Keep out the Big 12.
I'm ready. I want to hear it.
Give me Boise State and Tulane. The rule is highest ranked conference champions. The top 5 highest ranked conference champions. Keep that Big 12 out of here because the Big 12 and the SEC are victims of something that I'm well familiar with as a longtime fan of the Pac-12. Let me tell you about a little thing called cannibalism. You're all cannibals. You all ate yourselves, and eating yourselves has consequences. Cannibalism is illegal for a reason, and this version of cannibalism should keep you out of the college football playoff.
Who's Tulane beaten? Because I can tell you one of their losses was to an Oklahoma team who you're saying Alabama lost to, and that should keep them out. So why does Alabama's loss to Oklahoma keep them out, but Tulane's loss to
we do
Oklahoma.
this thing where recency bias.
And they lost to somebody
They
else.
lost to Kansas State.
Okay.
Back-to-back weeks, they were out.
Hey, Kansas State, I think Kansas State is a quality program, right? So I'm not going to jump down their throats about that one. The Oklahoma loss, I feel like, keeps them out, especially when Arizona State is sitting there with wins
But here's
over.
the difference. Tulane has 2 losses. Alabama has 3 losses.
I'm
not putting a 3-loss team in the college football playoff.
Oh, I will.
And they probably will.
You're telling me.
I know how this works.
You're telling me.
I'm just saying me personally.
Georgia goes to the SEC championship game against Texas,
Mhm.
right? Georgia's in the SEC championship game. If you missed
Yes.
that, they're in. They're
100%.
Their out of conference schedule is over. Their conference schedule is over. They're in. Texas A&M, right? Let's say Georgia goes out there, loses to Texas. That's a 3-loss Georgia team with a loss in the SEC championship game to a Texas team who they already beat on the road. Clemson sneaks into the ACC championship game because that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
They win the ACC championship game. So you'll leave out Georgia with wins over.
Georgia's my exception. Right now,
Okay.
Georgia does not have 3 losses.
Okay.
But in your
In
hypothetical,
that
I am talking
hypothetical
about
scenario.
in the now. I'm
Okay.
so sick of talking about hypotheticals. In
All
the
right.
now, the teams with 3 losses are out. Snip, snap, cut.
But that's the important thing. And this is the thing that I think everybody should understand. It's not just about your team. It's about your team in relation to everybody else. 1. 2, that changes game by game. Not even week to week right now. It changes game by game.
Yes.
That Florida win Tennessee got at the time, it's like, okay, Florida's a bad team. They're finna get rid of Napier. You look at it now, Florida's fine. Not great, not good, but fine. And Tennessee got that win over a fine Florida team who, in 2 weeks, has beaten LSU and Ole Miss, who everybody thought was pretty good. Right? Like, that's the types of things that are happening right now. So you have to be willing to adjust your thoughts and your takes based off of what happens next. So right now, you're saying, in the right now, 3-loss team isn't getting in the right now.
In the right now.
In the right now, I'm saying Indiana is not in. Now, things can happen to move Indiana in, but right now, Indiana's not in. And I said Arizona State, but that's not who's keeping Indiana out because I think Arizona State would be Big 12 champion, so they would get in anyways. I think that it is Clemson I have ahead of them. Yeah, it's Clemson. Clemson is the one keeping them out. Clemson 7-1 in the ACC. Their conference slate is over as well. They got South Carolina, a good South Carolina team to play this weekend. Clemson get a win over them. I would move Clemson. Clemson would solidify itself to me with an in, even if they don't go to an ACC championship game.
I would have Indiana dropping, and we don't get the college football playoff rankings until tomorrow. I would have them dropping from 5 to 10. You lost to the number 2 team in the country by a score that I think looks worse than how the game felt. If you take out the 2 special teams mistakes by Indiana, it is a much closer game. It is. They had the muff punt, and they have the kick return for the touchdown. And that really blew things open for Ohio State. And then you're playing catch-up, and then you're in desperation mode, and you're on the road at Ohio State. But I didn't think Indiana got completely out-manhandled by Ohio State. Watching that game, what I expected was the physicality of Ohio State's athletes to overwhelm Indiana, and that didn't happen. Watching it with my eyes, that was not my experience on this Indiana team.
Maybe I need glasses because that's exactly
That's how you felt?
That's exactly
I
what
didn't
I
feel that
saw.
way.
I saw like, oh, okay, Indiana's falling apart now. Here, this athleticism is just simply overwhelming them. Indiana went 3 quarters without scoring. Correct me if I'm mistaken. And I understand what you're saying about the punt, because that's exactly when it changed. That's exactly when it flipped.
Yes.
When they muffed the punt, and if I'm a wide receivers coach, or if I'm a linebackers coach, or if I'm a coordinator on either side of the ball, or if I'm a head coach, anywhere in the nation, I will sit my players down and say, hey, watch these 2 plays by this special teams right here, because that cost them the game. I'm with you on that part of it, because it was the muff, and then it was the punt return for the touchdown that really blew it open. But that thing was about to get blown open anyways. The Indiana couldn't move the ball. Indiana had that one drive where they pushed Ohio State around. The first drive, the opening drive.
They scored on their opening drive, and they scored on their final drive.
And it's like, oh, okay, here we go. They're doing some stuff. And then after that, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. So, and Ohio State was moving the ball. Ohio State was. And so to me, it felt like it was a matter of time before Ohio State said, okay, enough is enough. We're just going to let it happen. We're just going to let it fly. But listen, it's one loss.
It is one loss.
It's lost, like you said, to the number 2 team in the nation. What hurts Indiana is
their strength of schedule went up.
Their best win will be against a team who 7-5, 8-4. What's Washington going to be?
Their strength of schedule went up from in the 100, like I think it was like 130, like 51.
Okay.
After playing Ohio State, so that did take care of a big gap. It makes it not look as egregious from a strength of schedule standpoint. And because you have these teams who do continue to
I don't need a strength of schedule to
wins.
tell me who's playing good teams and who isn't.
Washington plays Oregon, so likely Washington will end 6-5.
6-6.
6-6. I'm sorry, they're 6-5 right now.
So their best wins will be against 6-6 teams. Hey, come on, man.
They only have one loss.
6-6 is
playing a
bunch of 6-6 teams isn't good. That's not going to get you in. I'm sorry.
We'll see what the college football playoff shows. I can't wait. It does create great debate. It's exactly what they wanted with the expanded college football playoff. I will say Tulane is playing better than Boise State right now. I watched that Boise State game. They are lucky. That team is beat up. Ashton Genty's beat up. They're stacking the box against Ashton Genty.
Who Boise State play?
Wyoming.
Okay. You saw him play UNLV?
Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And UNLV was ranked?
Yes.
Is UNLV still ranked?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Just asking.
I'm just saying Boise State almost lost that game to Wyoming. They didn't. Just like Penn State almost lost that game to Minnesota. They didn't. It's really hard to win games. That's the thing. Like, when you look at what happened to Alabama, when you look at what happened to Ole Miss, it's hard to make it through a season. And that is one more nod that I will give to Indiana. It's hard to win the games that you are supposed to win. Mistakes happen. Off days happen. Next thing you know, Oklahoma is storming the field against you. Next thing you know, Auburn fans are storming the field against you. And by God, those fans still show up because those crowds were crazy after those games. But we'll see how it all shakes out. We'll take a break here. The Memphis Tigers have a big game today against the UConn Huskies in Maui. Gary Parrish is going to join us in the next segment. We'll talk to him about the Grizzlies, about that game that is at 2. We'll figure it out. 2 something? We'll figure out the exact time. We'll come back. We'll get into all that with GP when we come back.
Lace is really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges, and you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the form rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane 3, yes sir! Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Looking for a fun way to get your child active and involved with the Memphis Grizzlies? Ball out on the Grizzlies' home court at Junior Grizzlies Game Day Clinics. Presented by Ortho South. Get your game ready for the big leagues. The first Junior Grizzlies Clinic tips off November 25th before the Grizzlies versus Trailblazers game. Take your child's skills to the next level by signing up at grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. Don't miss out.
D'Anthony Melton took my boys, my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love D'Anthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back on this Monday. Gary Parrish joins us weekday mornings. He hosts the Gary Parrish Show, 10 a.m. on Grind City Media. He's got quite the shirt on this morning.
I do have a shirt on this morning.
When did you get this shirt?
I've had it for a little while.
At what point in the beef did you purchase?
The first, within seconds of seeing it.
Okay.
Yeah. When I discovered it, I was a little bit like a Christopher Columbus of T-shirt shopping on the internet.
I don't think you want to call yourself the Christopher Columbus of anything,
I'm a little
Gary.
bit like the Amerigo Vespucci.
Wow.
I'm a little bit of like the Amerigo Vespucci of T-shirt shopping on the internet. I discover things and then I purchase them. I claim them for myself.
Did you listen to the new album?
Of course.
Did you enjoy the new album?
Of course.
Are you going to yell mustard?
I'm not a yeller.
You're not a yeller.
I mean, I'll yell at my kids sometimes.
I miss yelling.
But I guess I am a yeller when I think about it. But no, I don't think I'll be yelling mustard. I wouldn't even know the appropriate place to do it other than a club, and I don't anticipate.
Just anywhere.
Like you could do it, like I'm looking at Silkies, you could do it in the middle of Silkies, you think?
Yeah.
I think you probably could do it in the middle of Silkies.
People would be excited.
Yeah, okay, maybe I will then.
Do you think it's an overwhelmingly known reference now? And you saw so many brands.
I think it's very online. I think it's a very online thing.
Fine.
Yeah, I don't.
Or people who like music.
I think if you just went walking around today and was been like and yelled mustard, people would be like, look, more people would look at you like, what are you doing? As opposed to, Kendrick for life or whatever. But it is the number one album in the world.
Yes.
And it will probably stay that way for a little while, if not a long while. And so if it's not already hit pop culture completely, it will soon.
I do struggle with this because I am a chronically online individual. And a lot of my friends are also chronically online.
Right.
So we feed on one another. But so mustard,
right.
Everyone would.
Of course.
My nearest and dearest would all know mustard.
Right.
The other big internet moment to happen over the weekend was this bizarro interview between a journalist and Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande doing Wicked press tour coverage. And at one point, the interviewer says, fans are holding space for the lyrics of Defying Gravity. And it's this real esoteric, capital A artist BS conversation between all of them, which is funny in itself. And then on top of it, at some point, Ariana Grande goes to hold Cynthia Erivo's hand, and she just puts her fingers around Cynthia Erivo's long fingernail. So she's holding her fingernail.
Okay.
My timeline, my life this weekend has been references to holding space for the lyrics to Defying Gravity. So much so that I saw the Cleveland Cavaliers won another game. Right. I think they're 17-1 now. They posted a meme on Instagram and Twitter saying, holding space for being 17-1, and it was like the Wicked graphic with them as the winner and the other team as the loser. And I was like, that's awesome. And the comments were also that way. But those are people who are also in line.
Right.
Like if my mom saw that, and my mom saw the Wicked movie Friday, she's all in. She would like to think she knows everything about Wicked.
Right.
But she wouldn't know
No,
that.
there's a whole other world that exists online
It's
that
so
most people
weird.
don't live in.
Yes.
I think some people live in it too much. I'm probably more in the middle, but closer to the too much side.
Yeah.
So like, I would get all of the Kendrick references, but I would not have gotten that.
Well, now
Wicked
you know that
But
one.
now
You'll see it
when
everywhere.
when I see it, I'll know it. But to circle back to your point, like, we played golf yesterday, me and 3 buddies, and like you'd make a putt, and I'd look at the guy I'm playing against and be like, I deserve it all. We do that kind of stuff, and then somebody'd do a squabble up over here. So you get that kind of stuff. But I don't know if we'd have taken that to the group ahead of us or the group behind us. I don't know how much it would have resonated.
We're not all speaking the same language anymore,
Yeah.
and I think that's one of the trickiest parts.
They don't
of
even
existing.
they don't even all speak the same language on the new Kendrick album.
It's true.
It's multilingual.
Do you have a favorite song?
I like the first song.
You like the first song?
I just think it sets the whole tone for what's been going on. So that won't be the big radio hit, I don't think. It sounds like
Is it gonna be
Squabble.
Squabble Up?
Right. It sounds like that'll be in all the clubs by maybe already, but certainly by the weekend.
Do you want to know why I love Squabble Up? Because it samples, I always forget her name. It's Debbie Deb.
Right.
When I hear music. Do you know who the last artist to sample that song is? Pitbull. It's my favorite Pitbull song of all time.
Okay.
It's called Fuego.
Uh-huh.
It's so good.
I don't have a favorite
and
Pitbull
then,
song.
I know, most people don't.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't if not for Fuego. Like I wouldn't have an answer to that question if he had not sampled that song in Fuego. But that song, for whatever reason, I think it came out sometime around like maybe the Step Up movies with Channing Tatum. They did a dance to it or something. Which is one of those like perfect timing in my evolution as a person. And when Squabble Up started playing on that album, I was just transported back to being 14 and having the time of my life.
Well, it sounds, first up, that for me too, on one hand, it sounds like it's not like Us's cousin, so it's like either a prequel to that or a sequel to that or related to that or something, but it has a similar sound and vibe and all that. But then it reminds me, and this might not make sense for anybody young, but for people my age, maybe, it reminds me of a skating rink. It sounds like I should be at the skating rink. That's what it sounds like to me.
And I think that original song is from like the 70s.
That's what that might be what hits it, right?
Yeah.
But when I hear it, it makes me go, I should be, if not skating, I should be watching people skate while playing Gallagher or something.
Oh, I like that. I like that Luther song too.
Yes,
that is
it's
my
sweet.
husband's last name, and I love Luther Vandross.
And that's Scissors on that one, right?
Yeah.
And
Scissors all but confirmed to join him for the halftime show.
I would assume so, but I don't know that.
I didn't know if I saw
Nobody's
it
told
from
me
a
that personally.
legitimate.
Right.
They haven't called you.
They haven't told me that.
You know.
I haven't heard that from the horse's mouth.
Okay.
But I read
Well,
stuff
if you
too.
do, let me know.
I would assume. I mean, she's on the album. They've done big hits before. She's massive.
Yeah.
She interviewed him for the magazine profile that was, he never talks, but he talked to her. So I would assume, I would be surprised if she's not, but I don't. They haven't told me that.
Okay. Well, you hold out for that call.
Right.
In the meantime, we've got an afternoon college basketball game today, Gary.
Can't wait.
Memphis, UConn.
Let's go.
1:30.
Right.
Central Time.
Mhm.
If you could see anything from this Memphis team in today's game, what would be the most encouraging thing to see?
A victory.
Oh,
right?
How easy?
A win over the back-to-back champs that improves you to 5-0, launches you to the Maui semifinals, and makes all the stuff that happened in the offseason not completely go away, but certainly move to the back burner. Nobody will care about how many assistants you got fired, how many anonymous letters showed up, and how many columns were written about you that weren't so favorable. You'll be 5-0 with a win over the double champs, and that'll be the type of thing that makes the city, care deeply about that basketball program again. It can switch that quickly.
UConn is an 8.5-point favorite in this game. Sensible line to you? Surprising line to you?
I think KenPom had it at 7. I'm not surprised that it immediately got pushed to 8.5, or at least opened at 8.5. Because the betting markets will manipulate that a little bit. I think what most people will see here when they look at this is well, that's a Memphis team isn't that like a bunch of isn't crazy there? And then this is Dan Hurley. He never loses. They beat everybody by double digits. I guess I'll just lay the points. So you push it up to 8.5. I think it got bought up last night I saw it all the way up to 9.5. So I'm not surprised that money is coming in on UConn. But the truth is, I know Dan Hurley is excellent. I know Alex Karabin is very, very good. I think the rest of these guys are talented, and I'm confident Dan will mold it into a great basketball team because, he hadn't missed lately.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it yet, and neither has he, and neither has anybody because they played nobody. I mean, they're also 4-0, but they're 4-0 against 3 teams ranked outside of the top 320 at KenPom.
So they're winning by an average of 37 points,
it's
but
like,
they haven't played anybody.
I would know as much about them if they were 0-0 right now. So I know they will be good because Dan's too good and that staff's too good for them not to eventually be really good and legitimately compete for a three-peat. But on November 25th, I don't think you can. Here's what you think of UConn as the back-to-back champs. You'll hear, I just called them that maybe 3 times in the past 2 minutes. You'll hear it on television all day today. But like Adama Sanogo's not on this team. Tristan Newton's not on this team. Jordan Hawkins is not on this team. Stephon Castle's not on this team. Donovan Klingen's not on this team. It's Dan Hurley.
Cam Spencer
is not on this team. The back-to-back champs, like that stuff that happened, those were 2 very different teams, and this team is more different than either one of them. Dan Hurley is present. Alex Karabin is present. The rest of these guys, to the extent that they were on UConn's roster last season, they were role players and nothing more. They're now being asked to do more. He's got a 5-star freshman in Liam McNeely, who I think will be really good, but so far, he has not played against legitimate college competition. Let me be clear. They might come out and smack Memphis by 25 today. I'm just saying if I'm Penny Hardaway and I'm trying to make my guys understand that this is manageable and we can do this, I'm saying they're going to keep calling them the back-to-back champs. But go look at those rosters. Them dudes ain't in those uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
These are new people. The same coach. Alex Karabin's terrific. We're going to try to keep him under control. The rest of these guys are mostly new people who ain't never done it at this level. Let's go take a shot. That's the message I'd be trying to deliver.
Cam Spencer's here in Memphis getting his national championship ring. They made Zach Edey be there for Cam Spencer's national championship ring. Did you see that video?
I did. And I saw Zach hit it with the thumbs down. I love the thumbs down.
Me too. I thought it was like the best sport being a good sport
That's the way
in
to
an
do it.
awkward situation.
That's the way to do it.
That you're forced to be in. And all you can do is laugh.
You don't ignore it because that makes you look like you're weird. And you just, the thumbs down's perfect. I thumbs down text messages all the time. Mostly Vernon's.
You're a thumbs downer.
Oh, I'll thumbs down Vernon's text messages nonstop.
I barely ever do a thumbs down on a text.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm thinking of thumbs downing, I'll go with an emoji instead. Like I'll actually text something out. It just feels so negative to me.
No, if I catch flight, it's going to be direct.
You're just straight down.
I'm thumbs down. I'm going straight thumbs down. I get right to the point.
With the Memphis Tigers, 4-0, most recently we saw them beat San Francisco. It was yet again a tale of 2 halves, which has been indicative of their season thus far. What encourages you the most about this group? Or I guess where does your optimism level exist within this 4-0 start?
Well, they've got real guards, who we knew were real high major guards before they even got here. And so far they're performing. Like PJ Haggerty's been terrific. Tyrese Hunter, had a game. And I think you can rely on those guys, particularly Haggerty, who's having an All-American type of season so far, even if he's not being talked about that way because he's doing it for an unranked team in the American Athletic Conference. But that can all change this afternoon. I mean, you go out, he goes out and does nothing more than what he's already been doing this season, but in a win over UConn, we're opening the Eye on College Basketball podcast on him.
Yeah.
To this point, I'm not sure I've said his name on it. There's been no reason to. We don't spend a lot of time on the AAC or unranked teams. But you go out today and do one of these 25, 28, 32-pointers, make some shots, beat UConn. Well, now you're headed for the national rankings and everything that comes with that. They are shooting like 46% from three-point range. As of last week, they're ranked number 1. I think updated, it's 3rd in the country. I don't believe that that's going to be sustainable. I don't think we're going to look up on Christmas a month from now and they're shooting 46% from 3. But if this is a reliably good three-point shooting team, well, then that gives you a chance against just about anybody, particularly if you emphasize three-point shooting. So we're only 4 games in. It's very early, and I didn't expect this team to be a great three-point shooting team. But if they continue to knock down perimeter shots consistently, then even more than you already are, you start to gear your offense that direction. And if you're a high-volume three-point shooting team that's making them at a good rate, well, then you're a good college basketball team.
We'll take a quick break because we take breaks on Monday.
Oh, man,
but
so many.
Stay. I have one more thing I want to ask you about the Memphis Tigers going into this game against UConn, but I'll ask you also about the Memphis Grizzlies, who start a nice little 4-game homestand
I know
tonight
them.
against the
I know the
Trailblazers.
Grizzlies.
And I'll get your take on streaking and if we should be encouraging the Grizzlies to streak.
I think, depending on the streaker.
Well,
I think streaking comes down just depends on who the streaker is.
We'll get into it after a quick break.
Now every time you go to Miami, you can go see, that's a statue of me there.
No, I don't look nothing like that thing, man. Look, I'm sorry.
I would have been offended.
Look at that. That is UTA.
Oh, my God.
Oh, look. Hey, y'all got to get that screenshot, man. Put that on the...
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
D'Anthony Melton took my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love D'Anthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's the top 5 worst teams in the NFL. I think the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
I got the Saints number 1. Ha! Let's put the Aints up there. They're terrible.
I'll take the Titans as my worst team in the NFL. If they played Will Levis, they're for sure the worst team. Maybe in NFL history. Might be worse than the 0-16 Lions if they play Will Levis.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com. Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back. Gary Parrish joins us for his second segment. Gary, I was sorry to lead you astray on the Maple Missile on your show Friday. I know you were big on Indiana quarterback Curtis Rourke.
I didn't find me a Maple bar. No, but I did keep my eyes open. Like, I wasn't going to go out of my way.
I can't believe you didn't find one.
But it was just like, if I see one, I'm going to grab it.
It's a very normal donut.
I know. I just didn't see it. I didn't.
They try to mess them up these days. They put bacon on them all the time.
Okay.
I don't want bacon on my maple bar. I just want the maple. I don't need the salty sweet.
I've had a donut with bacon
like
sprinkles.
Bacon.
So I've probably had something similar.
Yeah, but it's not a bar.
I'm gonna get one. I've just got to find it.
CJ,
I just got
have you had a maple
to see
bar?
it.
I'm unfamiliar.
What the hell is happening here?
See, I think maybe this is a southern thing. I think maybe I don't think we grew up the same way.
This is crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't think we grew up the same way. Me and CJ ain't from the same place you're from.
Hey, Jessica's not like us, Gary.
She's not like us.
You're the they in that song, Jessica.
Don't call me Drake.
No, I didn't say you were Drake. I said you're the they. I didn't know that song was about Drake.
You didn't grow up like us. You didn't grow up like me and CJ.
You're right.
You grew up with
I
maple.
grew up eating maple bars.
You grew up with maple bars in Honolulu.
I knew you were going there.
Me and CJ was kicking with Vienna sausages, and man, we was just in our neighborhood. We didn't get to go to Honolulu every year.
So this is a donut thing?
It's a donut.
Okay, I've had that.
It's a maple bar.
I didn't know that had a name, but it's
or a maple log.
It's a longer donut.
Yeah.
It's kind of thick. It's
Yes.
got the brown stuff on
Yes.
top. Yeah,
Nothing in the middle though.
Yeah, I've had that.
That's key.
Maybe I didn't grow up like you and CJ.
I hate surprise.
Gary's the one that's not like
He's
us.
not like
Maybe
us.
I'm the
You're
one that
Drake.
did. No, you're Drake.
No, you're
Wait, that
Drake.
song is about Drake for real?
You're Drake. You're the one who's Drake.
Drake thinks rap has gotten bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Drake.
Yeah.
Will Drake ever come back?
Not fully.
I don't think so.
Not fully.
I had that realization.
He will still be a big star. He still is a big
Yeah.
star. I mean, like anybody who's like Drake's, like that's not true. There's
Right.
still an entire generation of people younger than us who hold him up here,
Mm-hmm.
but he will never be what he was or what he imagined himself to become.
And that's the point of beefs, and that's what happens when you decide to beef. So like the point of beef is to get the other one up out of here.
Yeah. Right.
And oftentimes when beef happens, think about what 50 Cent did to Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Ja Rule was incredible. I loved Ja Rule when Ja Rule was hot. 50 Cent comes through and is like, nah, he's a wankster, he's a bum. Eminem Buster, hop on the track with me. Let's talk about how bummy this dude is. Got rid of Ja Rule, moved Ashanti up out of here as well. Irv Gotti, gone, never. Murder Inc. was big. Beef. Got rid of them dudes. That's what happens, man.
I think Drake's too big to get rid of, but there he will never, like we are making jokes. You and I, like, look at us, but like you and I are making Drake jokes. That's
Right.
it. You can't ever get that back. You
Yeah.
can't get that back.
It is interesting. Like another layer on this is just artists who are at the top of the world who then, for whatever reason, get knocked off that axis at some point. I know Justin Timberlake was here this weekend, and I had a lot of friends go. Said it was an awesome show, and it was packed, and he was big on Memphis. And shocker, he did a Whoop That Trick. He did 2 It's a Parade Inside My Cities. He had custom Jaw 2s. Nobody loves Memphis more than when he's in Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
Than our friend Justin Timberlake.
That's
I'm salty that I still haven't met Justin Timberlake in
Oh.
all my years of being in Memphis, considering he was my elementary school boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't know that.
Okay.
But we were close.
I bet he assumes it.
I hope so.
I'm sure he knows.
I think somewhere buried in my head when I accepted my first job in Memphis was like my childhood realization that I could live where Justin Timberlake once lived.
Oh, but you're not.
But I'm not. I'm sure not.
Yeah.
But I think it's an interesting thing. Like, Justin Timberlake will never be as big as he once was.
Right.
That's just how it works, based on how his career turned and various pop culture related storylines and the Britney Spears of it all and his current situation.
Right.
And then most recently that it's going to ruin the tour moment. Did not ruin the tour. There are still sold out shows across this country, and he will always have the hits that he had, but he'll never be what he was.
No,
Like, so few are able to generationally stay at that level.
It's hard to be culturally relevant for more than 5 to 10 years.
Yes.
I mean, the whole Beatles thing was less than 10. Most people don't realize that. The whole Beatles thing was less than 10 years. Yeah. Led Zeppelin was about 10 years, to whatever impact they made. The exceptions to that are like Jay-Z, Kanye West,
Michael Jackson
Kendrick Lamar, Prince, Michael Jackson. Like people, everybody can make interesting art for I don't know about their entire lives, but for a long time. But how long can you be the person who, when you make an album, the world stops? Like Pearl Jam can release an album tomorrow. Nobody will even know. You're right?
You too can release an album.
Nobody
and they put it
would-
on all of our phones, and it makes us so angry.
There was a time, though, when you two could make an album and the world stopped.
Yeah.
But then that stopped happening. That stops happening for most people. It has now stopped happening for Kanye West. He releases Vultures too. Nobody cares. Yes. But there was a time, and longer than most, where he would release an album and the world stops and everybody is listening to this thing. Kendrick is still that, obviously. Beyonce is that. Taylor Swift is that. But the list is very short. Like Paul McCartney is a Beatle.
Paul McCartney released an album tomorrow, it wouldn't resonate at all. Like, to me, that's always the interesting thing. How long can you be somebody who, when you release something, it is culturally relevant, and it's in people's cars, it's wherever it is people hear music, it's there. That doesn't last long for most people.
I think actors have an easier time with it.
Much easier,
singers.
Yeah.
Because we allow them to
grow
into different roles without like getting angry at them, right? It's much harder to grow in music and become something different from what you were when you started, right? If you started off in this boy band, you're going to be a boy band thing for as long as we want to think about you, which makes what Michael Jackson was able to do. I'll throw Beyonce in there, and there are a handful of others so incredible because they started off as one thing and they've grown to be something else. We don't allow that type of growth.
But that's
from
like
musicians.
the top 1 point, like
the
0.000.
The Eras Tour is that by definition.
Taylor Swift, another great example.
Here's my career through the eras, and it has worked for her in a way that for a lot of people, I mean, most recently, I'm not trying to equate because Katy Perry was never, I mean, Katy Perry did do a Super Bowl, but Katy Perry releases her new album this year, and it gets wrecked.
Right.
And it's this notion of like, oh, she's trying to hold on to the past, while very select few are able to both hold on to the past and grow into a new space that you still respect.
To me, that's the difference. Katy Perry can release a new album, and you will hear what is forced upon you.
Yeah.
But you won't hear anything more than that. You'll just hear what is thrown at you. Whereas Taylor Swift will release an album, you'll hear the whole thing because you want to, because the world wants to, because it's unavoidable. Same thing with Kendrick Lamar this weekend. Whether you wanted to be aware that you could not live, you could not know care about Kendrick Lamar. It was impossible if you were online even a little bit to know that this had happened. So, the artists who can reach that level, it's so small. It's small. I don't want to say anybody, but a lot of people can make hits, make big albums, make 2 big albums. But can you make an album in this year and another album 17 years later, and they both register immediately similarly? That's really rare.
Sustainability is difficult to achieve. With the Tigers game against UConn, you had just like a throwaway phrase early on where you said, like, if someone was sitting down to watch the game or looked at the line and said, Memphis is only an 8.5-point dog or somewhere around that. And it's crazy in Memphis. You're in the college basketball space so often. What is the general perception of Memphis basketball right now, nationally, not here?
That is just like I hesitate to use words like this, but the easiest one the one you hear most is like circus. Okay. Just like, what is a circus? So, and I don't even know if that accurately applies, but again, we can just speak factually about this stuff.
People don't know like depth. They just see passing headlines.
Of course.
And those stick.
Yeah, you only hear about Memphis when something weird is happening, and it's been going on for a while now. I mean, we could just speak factually. Only one player returned from last season's team. Multiple assistant coaches were fired right before the season. An anonymous letter arrived alleging major rules violations that the university acknowledged they had to turn over to the NCAA. You have a player here with a big NIL deal. He has a agent/mentor online burying your program, embarrassing your program. You try to get that thing resolved. You think that you do. He comes back for a minute, then he's gone again, and now he's at Kansas. Just all this stuff. Yeah. It's all you ever hear about Memphis. But that's what is beautiful about today, because all that stuff will still be the stuff that people have heard about Memphis, but you can put it on the back burner. You can't undo it. I mean, a notice of allegations from the NCAA could arrive any day. Sure. You can't undo this stuff, but you can make people care less about it.
Yeah.
You know another program that was chaotic, like consistently chaotic for years? Kansas.
It's true.
They hang Final Four banners and win national championships and conference championships, and so it's less of a talking point connected to that program. Memphis today has an opportunity. Penny specifically today has an opportunity to give basketball fans something other than talk about than all the stuff we spent the offseason talking about, and that's an incredible situation to be in. I hope it goes well.
It's a doubleheader of a Memphis basketball day. Tigers in the afternoon, Grizzlies at night.
Yay!
We've got 4 games coming up, and the Grizzlies have a chance to do something big, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
By big, I mean maybe put together their biggest winning streak of the season. They've won 3 in a row.
That's right.
They haven't won more than that in a row. Tonight would tie that 3-in-a-row record.
Mm-hmm.
If they won tonight, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Friday,
Yeah.
and Sunday, all against teams who are below 500.
Sure.
You know me in math.
Yeah.
Sometimes I struggle.
Okay.
They're riding a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah.
That's 4 games. I think that's a 6-game winning streak.
All right.
Which I think I called a 5-game winning streak in my opening segment.
Yeah.
So we're already off to a tough start.
Yeah.
Do you believe they can do it?
Hey, first, you can't get a 6-game winning streak without a 5.
Okay,
so
Coach. Coach
technically,
I was right.
yeah, you predicted a 5-game winning streak.
And some people call Sunday the start of the following week. So I could have said I was speaking of the week iteration.
How do you handle that type of situation?
Monday's the start of the week.
Oh no.
You're a Sundayer?
Yes.
No.
I mean, the calendar's the calendar.
What are you, CJ?
My week starts on Wednesday.
See,
That's fine.
starts on
Mine
Wednesday.
used to, when I worked in local news and my off days were regularly, at first they were Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they shifted to Wednesday, Thursday.
The calendar-
I would say my week started on Friday.
The calendar is the calendar. How could I be so arrogant as to argue with the calendar? I look at it all the day. Look, I'll look at it
I
right
argue
now.
with all kinds of things. The calendar is the
sun-
least of my
look,
worries.
I'm looking at my calendar right now. It says Sunday is the first one. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Take it up with God.
It's Sunday.
Take it up.
Monday.
Take it up with God.
Sunday is the end.
Did God invent the
of-
calendar? Do we know that?
Yeah, I think that
Is
was.
the calendar biblical?
I think that was it David? No, it was Solomon. He was the wise
It's
one.
probably
It was
old Solomon.
It was Solomon.
You know, it
It's
sounds like something Solomon would do.
Yeah, Solomon was the one who was chopping babies in half.
Oh, why did he do that? What was that? What was going on with Solomon?
You're going to trust the man who was chopping
you
babies
know the
in
story.
half?
You know the story of Solomon.
I know very little about the Bible.
Well, Solomon comes through. He's sitting there. He's a wise king. 2 ladies roll up. This lady stole my baby. No, it's my baby. King Solomon says, "I'll solve it. Give me the baby."
What in the world?
I'm gonna chop it in half. And then one woman came running up and said, "No, don't cut it in half. She can have it." He said, "Aha! It's your baby because you didn't want the baby chopped in half."
Solomon's got tricks. Man, I didn't know all this was going on.
So you're going to trust him?
Did they ever make a movie about
having
that?
the week start on Sunday?
Yeah, he's the wisest king of them all, according to the Bible.
It sounds like it to me. He got that situation handled.
There have been many candles
Solomon was
throughout
wild.
history. For the record, the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Mayans, all were early pioneers in the art of timekeeping. But often, the Roman calendar is what we credit as the first calendar.
So you trying to discount-
Developed by Julius Caesar.
Are you trying to discount God's role?
In the calendar?
Are you trying to discount God's role in the calendar?
Yeah, you heard it here first. Your
Also-
week starts on Monday. Sunday is a day of rest to conclude the arduous nature of the week before it. You rest on Sunday, supposedly, and then Monday starts the new week.
I'm looking at the calendar, Justin.
I think it's stupid.
You're
This is
arguing.
one of my pet peeves.
You're going to have to take this up with Steve Jobs. He put a calendar in my computer. He says it starts on Sunday. You're arguing right now with God and Steve Jobs.
And Solomon.
And Solomon.
And Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar's calendar is atrocious, and let me tell you why. He added 2 months, July for Julius and August for Augustus. Otherwise, we'd have 10 months, and every month would have 30 days because he added 2 months because he's an arrogant asshole.
Yep.
I'm glad that they stabbed him. Shout out to Brutus. We got all these
Brutus.
months with weird-ass days.
Is all that in the Bible, too?
Yeah.
I got to pick this up, man.
It's a good book. You should check it out sometime.
I should grab that. It sounds interesting.
I think that's in the chapter Malik.
I need to,
There's no
I need
That's
to-
my favorite chapter.
I
of the
wish they'd
Bible.
make a movie about all this stuff.
They're making one about the saints and the apostles, I think. Martin Scorsese.
Okay.
For Fox Nation.
Ooh.
I just saw a preview for it. Chris was like, "How'd that happen?"
I don't know. I need to get a
Some investigation.
Let me get a documentary
I
on
hear they pay
that.
a ton of money,
I guess so. In sexual assault lawsuits.
but they still have enough for this.
Right.
Are the Grizzlies going streaking?
I think so.
I think so.
I
Thank
don't
you.
see why not. I mean, I looked at the same schedule you looked at, and I know
We might see calendars differently.
I know we interpret
but we
calendars
see the
differently.
Grizzlies' upcoming schedule.
I know
the
we
same.
interpret calendars differently, but we see schedules similarly. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, they wouldn't because it's the NBA, and sometimes you just lose games
Don't
you're not
make
supposed to
rational
lose. But you've got a not good team coming in here tonight. You got mostly not good teams coming in here the week. John Morant, as you noted in the open, has been upgraded to quite. I must
Hallelujah.
like. There's a chance he will play tonight. There's a better than awesome chance he'll play at some point this week.
Yeah.
So things are moving in the right direction. I choose to focus on the good.
Notorious good focuser, Gary Parrish.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us, GP.
It's my pleasure.
We'll catch up with you next time.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get into all the happenings from the NFL. A new leader has emerged in the Rookie of the Year race. You know I'm amped to talk about that, along with all the other games. The early window yesterday was awesome. Saquon Barkley then ran all over the Rams on Sunday Night Football. We'll get into the NFL. We also have the Hot Mess Express still ahead. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response. Capitalize on every opportunity. And win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of up to $340,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Here Comes Santa kicks off November 24th. Get 1 free entry and earn additional entries for weekly Saturday drawings. Don't forget the grand finale drawing on Saturday, December 21st to win up to $5,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quoting, call 800-522-4700. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
We didn't talk about owling, and you're telling me you didn't know owling?
What the hell is an owling?
Owling is worse than Tebowing.
What is an
How
owling?
far can Kyra zoom out on this camera?
She can zoom all the way out.
Can
Are
she
you gonna
zoom
hit us with
out?
that? What are you doing?
I'm owling.
Okay. Wait, why were we doing this? What is that?
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Looking for unique gifts and the spirit of Memphis? The Memphis Grizzlies are hosting Grizz Shop Local in the grand lobby of FedEx Forum. On November 30th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., discover a curated collection of Memphis and Mid-South small businesses all in one place. From handmade art to delicious treats, you can find something special for the holidays while supporting the heart of our community. Come join us on November 30th and support Memphis by shopping local.
The top 5 worst teams in the NFL. I think the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
I got the Saints number 1. Ha ha ha! Let's put the Aints up there. They're terrible.
I'll take the Titans as my worst team in the NFL. If they played Will Levis, they're for sure the worst team. Maybe in NFL history. Might be worse than the 0-16 Lions if they play Will Levis.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Go Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back on this Monday. Thanks to Gary Parrish for joining us. I am excited to have a college basketball game at 1:30 in the afternoon. For the people who, do some businesses get all of Thanksgiving week off, CJ? I don't know. I've never had holidays off. So for me, I just assume that.
You want to be a teacher, you could probably swing all of, but
that would
businesses?
Be the one.
No.
Well, but my friends in other cities flew out over the weekend.
Well, they use some vacation
their holiday
days.
plans.
They use some PTO.
But their office, I know what it is. They work from home.
Okay.
They'll do 3 work from home days and then be off Thursday and Friday. Anywho, we're here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week. We are off Thanksgiving and Black Friday, but we do have a Grizzlies game on Black Friday. Are you looking for any deals this Black Friday?
No, I'm way too poor for that.
You're not looking for anything? I know.
No, I'm way
We're
too
about
poor.
to be poor after the deal.
Okay.
We're buying
Which
a
one?
bed.
Oh,
we're doing it.
Big people bed?
We're buying a big
people bed. Is this the
people
first
bed.
big people bed?
Mm-hmm.
You on the IKEA joint, or where'd you get this frame
I haven't
from?
decided. We have a couple.
Well,
we're monitoring.
Where did you get this bed from?
Oh, our current is IKEA.
IKEA, okay.
Our current is IKEA.
All right.
But we're gonna get a king size bed.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
King size. Okay.
I'm so excited.
I don't want.
I've wanted a king size bed my whole life.
For what?
It's so big.
I understand that, but then you'll be so far
You can
away.
choose to cuddle, or you can be on opposite sides of the
No,
bed,
we can't
and
do
no
that.
one will wake the other person up.
Oh, wake them up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm anti-king bed right now. Maybe in another, I don't know,
I'm anti-king bed
10
after seeing how expensive king beds are.
10 to 15 years we can do a king, but for now we'll kick it in the queen.
I feel like we got to put it on layaway.
Yeah. You say that like you're joking.
No,
why
I'm
not?
serious.
Okay,
Paying for it in
get a
increments.
payment plan for that thing. Beds are expensive. They don't tell you how expensive things are. Beds are ridiculously expensive.
The
You know what
mattress
else?
and the frame.
The whole thing.
And the sheets. And if you get a
Separate.
king bed, you have to get new pillows.
For what?
Because you have to get king-size pillows. I didn't know this. Chris told me this. Is he lying to me?
I don't think you need new pillows.
Okay, well, I'm keeping my pillow.
But I very well could be wrong, because there are a lot of little things that happen when you make one of these purchases that I don't even think about. Rugs are stupid expensive.
Apparently Macy's right now
Ooh.
has a killer rug sale going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cut the rug.
Right. Okay.
90% off.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Tires
Here to
are
spread
dumb
the good news.
expensive.
Tires are so expensive.
Anything that happens.
Trash cans. Trash cans
Why
are
are
more
trash
expensive than they
cans
need
so
to be. They're little
expensive?
pieces of metal.
It's just a bin for me. I'll just get a
Drives me
big
nuts.
ass brown box and stick my trash in. What are we
Yeah.
doing?
What are we doing?
But shout out. You'll sleep really, really good on that
know.
actual bed.
If we order it, it won't get here till April.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah. Multiple of the places we were looking at to order. It was delivery expected April.
Deliver.
Okay.
So how are you gonna do it? Because that's the other part about buying these things.
I'm trying to find one
is
where the delivery is included with a
somebody to put it together.
application. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we've done that.
Yeah.
Our marriage has almost dissolved under multiple IKEA projects. Not really, but we flirted with it. There's nothing more frustrating than putting together furniture as a couple.
And y'all do it together?
Yes.
Yeah, no. I just clear out. Let her
I
do
end
it.
up clearing out.
I clear
There's
out.
no point.
Let her do it. And then if it needs to be flipped, I'll come through and
Do
man
that
muscle it,
part.
pick it up, flip it over,
It's
and let
nice,
her
you
do
know.
what she does. Yeah.
I can't wait, but I'm not looking forward to seeing that money come out of my sweet bank account. All right, NFL from over the weekend. The early window yesterday was very, very fun. The Cowboys-Commanders game, during that time, you had the Turpin muffed punt turned Madden move with the little hit him with a spin, 99-yard kick return. Then the Commanders kicked a field goal, forced a 3 and out, had the Hail Mary, essentially, to McLaurin, only for them to miss the tying extra point. It was such a bad special teams game for both teams, but especially for Austin Siebert with the Commanders. And I swear, that man was jinxed by the broadcast team because we were watching the end of that one live. We were watching Red Zone, so it's popping around all of them. And Greg Olson literally, before he goes to kick it, says, well, before anyone gets all fired up, we've seen a missed PAT already today. You can't say that, Greg. You played the beautiful game. You can't jinx a kicker like that. And then, whoop.
Wait,
he really missed.
Was
snap
football
was
the
bad.
beautiful game?
Football's the most beautiful game.
The snap. I heard Bill
all the games
Cowher,
are beautiful.
Bill Cowher was talking about that play specifically on. Are they the CBS crew? I think they're the CBS crew. He and Burleson were exchanging thoughts, going back and forth. Burleson was, hey, that was a bad snap. Cowher was, yes, the snap was bad, but the hold was good. The kicker has just got to go through the motions and kick the ball. He let the snap affect his routine, and that's why he missed it the way that he missed it. If he had just approached it the same way he approaches every other kick, you have to trust that the holder is going to get the ball down and flip it right. The snap was bad, but the hold was good, and that's what matters. It's not the snap. The hold is what matters. The kicker, you just got to go through the motion and kick the ball, and he didn't do that.
I was listening to the radio broadcast on my drive home yesterday afternoon. We had some of the women of the Grizzlies took a group Pilates class yesterday afternoon. So I had a little Pilates. Speaking of things I wish I had money for, I could be such a Pilates babe. I love Pilates. I just can't afford Pilates, but Pilates is great. So I was driving back, and the broadcast was talking about, at that point, his first missed extra point from the game. And they were talking about, from a kicker standpoint, like, sometimes it's contagious. And I kind of chuckled to myself when he said it, because I was like, that sounds dumb. But then he was explaining it through and saying, like, Brandon Aubrey had missed a kick for the Cowboys earlier. And sometimes when you're in the same building with someone like that, and you see a kicker who's usually so consistent miss, you can't help it. It gets into your head, and then you miss, and then I was like, oh, so of course. Then he goes and misses the extra point at the end of that game. Tough for the Commanders. They have had 3 losses now in a row. But during that game, it was the same time as the Vikings-Bears game that went to overtime. And I really thought Caleb Williams was going to have his moment. And then instead it was a Sam Darnold moment. Either way you look at it, a USC quarterback with a big Sunday win. Caleb Williams was awesome in those 2 scoring drives that ended up tying the game and forcing it to overtime. And then he was not as great in overtime. Big win for the Vikings. And then at the same time, the Titans are beating the Texans and beat the Texans. And we had texts from Other Jacob talking about how, I don't want to misquote him, so I should pull up exactly what Other Jacob had to say.
About what?
About Will Levis.
Oh, good grief. Why are we doing this?
Because I came out of that Pilates class to a text from Jacob that said, Will Levis has turned the corner. And then you said, and around that corner is a defensive end coming to plant him for the Titans' 23rd sack of the day.
Yeah.
And Jacob said, not his fault. He's throwing dimes and looking very handsome while doing so.
He's so thirsty for that, man.
So thirsty for the Mayo McNair.
Come on, man.
And then he threw that pick, and I was like, you sure? And then also, they're supposed to be losing. You're not supposed to beat the Texans if you're the Titans.
Yeah,
But
that took them from
it's news to
potentially
them.
tied for first worst record in the number 1 overall draft pick. I think they're down to 8 or 9 now with that win.
You can't do that.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm not sure about Callahan. There's 1 year, so there's a handful of games. So let's give him another chance, CJ. Give him some more time, CJ. Fine. But, ooh, boy, some of those decisions that he's making with this team, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, it's like, I got questions about what you're thinking. Will Levis dropping back on 3rd and long from his 2. Like, why are you, after seeing how poorly your offensive line has blocked Will Anderson, why? That made me really, really mad and nervous. You're in field goal range, just got sacked. Why not? Look, clock is winding down. It's the end of the first half. You're tied 17-17. You kick the field goal. You get the 20-17 lead. You get the ball back. Why in the hell are you dropping back the pass again? Knocking yourself out of field goal range. So I thought at the time, but the field goal kicker got a big leg, made the kick. So we're going to forget that and ignore that part of it. But like there are decisions that get made routinely in games where it is, hey, if you just don't call that play, you don't have these types of mistakes happening. I look forward to talking to Teresa about Callahan, Levis, and that offensive line. I thought Latham was going to be much, much better than what he was. I thought he was closer to Penei Sewell than what he's playing like. He has not been near as good as I thought. He's been fine for a rookie, but that's not why you took him to be fine for a rookie.
And somebody free Tony Pollard. Let Tony Pollard be on a good team.
Tony Pollard was a free agent. He could have picked a good team.
My
He chose to go to the Titans.
I know.
Like, you want to play a good team or you want to get paid. Tony Pollard made his decision. He wanted to get paid.
And he got paid.
All right, Tony.
But in a year that has been so, like, the running back hasn't been this hot in a minute. Between Saquon, Derrick Henry, and we'll talk a little bit more about Saquon when we get to Sunday Night Football. Josh Jacobs had a killer game yesterday. The backfield duo of the Lions with Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And the Lions continue to be the best team in the NFL. CJ has told me he's going to go to the parade if the Lions win the Super Bowl.
If the Lions win the Super Bowl,
full
I'm
support.
going to the parade.
Full support. Also in that early window, thought the Chiefs might actually lose to the Panthers. That's silly because the Chiefs always win. The Chiefs always win one-score games. That is their 13th straight game where they have won within one score. And they get a game-winning field goal. You can thank Patrick Mahomes, sets them up for it. He continues to make the big plays when it counts. But I did think the Panthers were actually going to beat the Chiefs, which was silly. Bucks destroyed the Giants 30-7. Dolphins over the Patriots 34-15. Then the afternoon window came, and I joked that Chris killed off the 49ers last week. And I said, well, they're not officially dead. No, they're dead. Hammer nail coffin. This baby, it's over. It's cooked. And they're not right. And obviously being without Brock Purdy was a big part of it.
They've had Brock Purdy.
Correct. So I don't want to put it all on that.
So no,
like,
that's
Debo
not.
was out there dropping balls yesterday. I saw somebody post like some funny meme because Debo had that moment with their kicker in the game where the kicker, I think, missed 3 field goals. And someone said the kicker should be looking at Debo that way after a couple of his plays from yesterday. Christian McCaffrey just doesn't look 100% right out there. From a fantasy football standpoint, there's some brutal teams here down the stretch where you were hoping, because you have like between 2 or 3 weeks left in the regular season, depending how your league works, and then you go into the playoffs. Why'd you shiver like that?
I need to check my fantasy football stuff. Thank you for reminding me.
You're
Go
so
ahead.
welcome.
Go ahead. I'm not on camera.
But you have a team like the Niners who, I mean, they could very well shut it all down. Like, they could shut Purdy down. They could shut Christian McCaffrey down. You already were without Christian McCaffrey for a large portion of the season. And so to see how that could potentially shake out is unfortunate from a fantasy football standpoint. But that happens. That happens each and every year. I said at the beginning of the year that I was going to ride Bo Nix into the fantasy football playoffs, and you all laughed at me. You laughed in my face.
We laughed at you because you wouldn't stand on it. You wouldn't take them.
I took him in my good league.
Okay.
I don't pay attention to I literally call your league the stupid league.
Okay.
Chris will be like, how are you doing in fantasy? And I'm like, oh, I'm doing great. And then there's the stupid league. That's how we refer to it, with love.
You didn't,
with love.
I don't care how you refer to it. You had the opportunity in the stupid league, which we're changing the name to the stupid league.
Okay, good.
You had the opportunity in the stupid league to take Bo Nix, and you didn't take him.
Well, in my league where I have real money on the line, I did. And I would like everybody to know that Bo Nix in September threw for 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, and the Broncos were 2-2. And since then, Bo Nix has thrown for 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 5-3 record. And he has emerged as a front runner for Rookie of the Year. He's my Rookie of the Year.
I'm sure he is.
He's my Rookie of the Year.
We got to pull that commercial out.
I know, we got to bring it back.
Got to bring it back.
Got to bring it back with an update. But I have been really impressed with, he looks so much more comfortable in the pocket. That was something that was a deep concern. Like, yes, he can do things with his leg. Can he perform in the pocket? Can he throw balls in tight windows? He does have the deep ball. He had a beautiful throw to Mims yesterday. Cortland Sutton ended up having a monster game. Like, these receivers are coming alive with Bo Nix as their quarterback, and it has been fun to watch. They beat the Raiders yesterday. Like, the Raiders stink. Gardner Minshew's out for the rest of the season.
I don't care.
And he broke his collarbone?
I care
no,
about that.
I just meant because it was a painful injury.
Yeah,
That's why I said that.
That hurts.
It doesn't matter. Like, the Raiders don't matter. Gardner Minshew doesn't matter. But I care about the pain level of that injury.
Gardner Minshew is this generation of football's Fitzpatrick or Fitzgerald. What was my man's name? Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Ryan.
There we go. My man Ryan. That's what he is. It's like, oh, he's always around. He's always somebody's backup. He always ends up starting.
Around.
And he's always bad.
On time. Still playing bad. Yeah, he's not great. The Raiders are not great.
He has a great set of quads, though. Oh, my goodness. That man is some booty shorts.
And those jorts that he brought back. Seahawks beat the Cardinals 16-6. Now you have 2 6-5 NFC West leaders, and with the Niners dribbling out of that, that's an interesting division to keep an eye on. And then finally, Eagles beat the Rams 37-20.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
What are the 49ers?
The 49ers
5-7?
5-7. 5-6.
5-6?
Rams and Niners are 5-6. Seahawks and Cardinals are 6-5.
I'm taking the nails off. You can put the lid on that coffin.
No.
Don't shut it.
It feels shut.
It might feel shut, but it's not. It's not. They're only a game back of the division.
But they're also, but they're 1-3 in the division.
That's fine. That's fine. We've seen weirder things happen.
Okay.
Look at the AFC South last year and the year before that with the Texans and the Jaguars.
Nails out.
Like, you're not allowed to hammer that shut yet. You can put the lid on it. The lid is on it.
It said the Lions were the best team in the NFL, obviously the best team in the NFC, but the Eagles are right behind them. They're 9-2. We tried to fire Nick Sirianni 3 weeks into the year, and they have been really, really solid. Their defense is great. Last night, Saquon Barkley, another monster game, 255 yards on 26 carries with 2 touchdowns. The 70-yarder to start the second half felt like a door closer for the Rams last night. That's when I was like, okay, it's time for me to go to bed. This game feels like it's going to go in the direction of the Eagles. That it did. Saquon certainly in the conversation for MVP.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had a non-quarterback MVP since Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
And now you have 2 legitimate cases between Saquon and Derrick Henry. So something to keep track of. It must stink to be a Giants fan. I think that often. So sorry, Brevin Knight. They have to watch that man thrive at their division rival.
And they cut Jones.
After
making him run scout team safety.
They had that man reading off a phone apology. A phone. Where do you go if you're Daniel Jones?
Home? I don't know.
No, he wants to play.
Go home, man.
The Cowboys sign him.
To do what? To play this year? For what?
For fun.
No. He's not good enough.
When Sam Darnold went down for a second, he came back in that game. But I thought he was really hurt. And I was like, Daniel Jones, you are
He's not good. He's not good enough to be on a good team. He's not bad enough to be on a bad team. Right? Or he's not good
to be.
Yeah, like, what do you want? Do you want to stick him on do you want to stick him on the Jaguars and say, hey, let's go out here and try and win some games?
Doug Peterson still kicking.
No. Stick him on the Panthers or on the Titans? No. No. So he's out this season. Like, why would I want him? Try again next year.
We'll take a quick break.
But why would I want him next year?
You wouldn't. The answer is no.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna cough. We have to do the Hot Mess Express. Included in that, some really bad field storms from over the weekend in college football. I am out to stop the fun of storming the field. Kendrick Lamar and Father John Misty have a very funny connection. Fred VanVleet was very upset in the Rockets game this weekend. If you didn't see it, we'll give it to you. We'll get into some other Hot Mess Express stories when we come back.
I can't tell you how many people texted me and thought it was the funniest thing ever that you were sitting on the front row in your jersey.
No.
You were wearing a Tony Allen jersey on the front row. They're like, yo, tell him to check in.
That joke was smeety. I told Tia, I said,
I
man, you
did
should
have a hoodie on, though. I mean, a sweater on.
I told Tia, you should have sized up on that joint, man.
Yo, shout out to Robin Hood, man.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
D'Anthony Melton took my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Loved the Anthony Mountain. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's the top 5 worst teams in the NFL. I think the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
I got the Saints number 1. Ha ha ha! Let's put the Aints up there. They're terrible.
I'll take the Titans as my worst team in the NFL. If they played Will Levis, they're for sure the worst team. Maybe in NFL history. Might be worse than the 0-16 Lions if they play Will Levis.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Who will lead the Grizz in steals this season?
I'm going to go with Pippen for steals this season.
So I'm going to go with Jaren.
I'm going to go, as long as he's in the rotation, I'm going to go Jake LaRavia for total steals, and I'll have Marcus Smart in my back pocket for steals per game.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
Choo-choo!
All aboard!
The Hot Mess Express. Chugga, 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 chugga.
Welcome back. Field stormings must be stopped. We had a ton of field stormings over the weekend. The messiest of them, of course, being Arizona State on the cusp of knocking out BYU.
Why are you storming the field against BYU?
Two ranked teams.
Is BYU
playing
undefeated?
one another. No, they're not.
BYU number 1 in the nation?
No, they're not.
BYU won 5 championships the past 10 years?
No,
last BYU championship
No.
was what, in the 80s? Steve
No.
Young. Yeah. Yeah, BYU is that team that's the non-power conference team, traditionally speaking, to win a national championship.
No, I know, but it wasn't the 80s. It was the 90s, wasn't it, with Steve Sarkisian?
No, I think it was the 80s with Steve Young. I'll double check that. How much time was left on the clock when they stormed the field?
1 second.
So they didn't even storm it
You
the
didn't
right
even
way.
storm the field correctly. And let me be clear. Watching the end of that game, Arizona State was doing whatever they could to give that game away. Rather than just putting it away by scoring, Coach Dillingham had his team trying to bleed out the clock, and then they didn't bleed it all the way out, and there's 1 second left, and the whole stadium storms that field, and then they had to clear it to play 1 additional second. And there was 1 additional second on the clock. Like, he was so mad in the midst of it all. Did you see the video of him, CJ, where he's talking with the official and like the sideline reporter is just standing there listening to it all? But like his wife is next to him in the midst of the field storming, and they're telling him that there's still 1 second on the clock. We have to play this play. And he's like, this is BS, this is blah, blah. Like, he's screaming at them. But there was 1 second
Whose
left
ball
on the
was
clock. Arizona State.
Okay, then yeah, why are we playing the play? You know we're gonna snap it and nail it. What are we doing?
Like, this is so.
It's fine. Let it go.
This whole thing
BYU's
was
last.
just, I'm sorry, BYU.
It was BYU.
It was
then you
BYU,
got
so you had to
you
play
had
it.
to play it.
They're
You gotta
down
play it.
5.
Yeah, you got to play it.
You had to play it.
Yeah.
But BYU shouldn't, like, it was 4 downs, so Arizona State turned it over on downs, is how it happened. And so it gave the ball back to BYU. They were trying to bleed the clock instead of, again, just score in those. I hate getting so stupid or silly, nilly with it all. And that's how it was early in the game, too. They were up big early. And then he's going for it on, like, 4th and goal up 21-3, and they don't get it. And they did a little trick play at one point. It just felt like it got a little lost in the sauce.
Gotcha.
Wasn't he the one who said we can't get lost in the sauce
No,
last
week?
week?
I think he
or
said.
Or was that Kurt Signetti?
I think he said that if ranch fell on a chicken wing,
That was the one. Then you can't get lost in the sauce. Well, I think he was a little...
not they can get lost. Then you can get into the Big 12 championship.
Oh, okay.
So I missed the loss in the sauce comment.
Well, they
So
can
but it
get...
wasn't from him.
It was part of that because it was
Was it?
with the ranch dressing.
Okay.
Now I'm remembering because of the sauce. Anywho, they get the win, and now Arizona State is in a situation where if everybody wins in this Big 12 tiebreaker next week, it will be Arizona State, Iowa State in the Big 12 championship game. The tiebreaker is a mess of itself. All of these tiebreakers bring back divisions. I didn't know how good we had it when everybody had a division. It took us like a week to know that Oregon had guaranteed their spot in the Big Ten championship game. The Big Ten didn't even realize that Oregon had clinched a spot in their championship game. But this is how it works across the board. That field storming was bad. We need more games to be played. Go ahead.
BYU's championship was 84.
84.
Okay.
I think they went to, did they go to a Fiesta Bowl? They went to one of the bigger bowl games.
They went to a Cotton Bowl in 96.
That's the one.
Okay.
That's the one. My dad's gonna be so mad at me. I hear the story all the time about how he had to advocate for BYU to be included that season. Anyway, we saw field stormings for Oklahoma, saw field stormings for Auburn. We did not see one for Kansas, Colorado, because that game was played at Arrowhead Stadium. Do you know why that game was played at Arrowhead Stadium?
I'm assuming to get money.
I'm so dumb sometimes. Like, my perception is scary because it took me until the 4th quarter of that game to realize that it was being played at Arrowhead Stadium. I was kind of jumping back and forth and watching it. So I wasn't just sitting down straight watching Colorado, Kansas. But I remember at one point I heard the announcer say, these fans in Kansas City have something to cheer for. And I was like, what a dummy. They're not in Kansas City. They're in Lawrence. University of Kansas is in Lawrence, not in Kansas City. No, they were in Kansas City. So stupid.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not paying attention to where these dudes are playing.
I'm not either.
I don't care.
Chris was like, did you not notice the giant Chiefs logo in the middle of the field? And I said,
wait, there was a Chiefs logo?
Yes.
Then I would have noticed that.
I just didn't. For whatever reason, it didn't register on Saturday. But they couldn't storm the field afterwards because they had NFL level security. So Jalen Daniels joked after the game, like, you can't do that here because you're not going to get on the field. So they had a guy down quick. But more like that, less like the Arizona State fans. Please.
Okay.
Here's Jalen Daniels after that game. This is an NFL stadium. You can't just do that. Ain't that the truth? All right. Also happening over the weekend, we talked about Kendrick Lamar's new album. It was a surprise album on Friday, GNX. Overshadowed all the other music that dropped that day. Even kept the Wicked album out of the top spot. Wicked is number 2. Kendrick's GNX, number 1. One person who knows the pain of Kendrick Lamar dropping an album at the same time that he drops an album very, very well is Father John Misty, who had a new album come out on Friday, but this is not the first time that his album has been overshadowed by a Kendrick album, because they have shared album release dates 5 times over the last 12 years. 2012, 2015, 2017, 2018 for the Black Panther soundtrack, and 2022, and now 2024. He said, "Not now. I'm furiously scribbling my seeming response to," and this person answered and said, "I'm so sorry that you happened to drop on the worst possible day to drop a new album." He said, "It's okay. Only other times it's happened was 2012, 2015, 2017, 2022. And he even left out the 2018 because he forgot that Kendrick did the Black Panther album. He did release a diss track. It's called God's Trash. But I really appreciate someone with a good sense of humor because it's like a diss track in good humor. And he did a cover art for that diss track that kind of like plays on the whole Kendrick-Drake beef from over the summer. So very funny. Crazy day for Father John Misty because he was also discovered by Cher on Friday. Cher tweeted, "This is the world I want to live in. Didn't know Father John Misty as an artist or man. Was looking up another song and this came to me. What belongs to you comes to you." Do you listen to Father John Misty?
I'm unaware with who that person is.
But someone told me his new album's really good.
What
I'm
is
going to
he?
give it a listen.
What genre?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the answer to that.
All right.
I haven't listened to him. I'll add it. All right. Last but not least, let's do Fred VanVleet, who is definitely going to be suspended. We still don't know for how long.
Suspended, really?
I think he's going to be suspended. He was not happy during the Rockets' loss to the Trailblazers on Saturday. He got called for an offensive foul with 4 seconds left, proceeded to point at every single official along the way and say, "You suck, you suck, you suck," and then also said some other words that I will not repeat. Then he got real close to poking one of the officials in the face.
Yeah.
He got a tech last year and then went off in his press conference and ended up getting a pretty big fine. This time around, he did not say much, which means he knows that he's in trouble. I think he'll probably get a small suspension and at least a hefty fine. That is more than the $30,000 that he was fined last season.
Repeat offender.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
And came so the official moves his head.
Yeah,
So at first you thought he poked him in the eye.
I understand that we get frustrated at officiating. I get frustrated at officiating from time to time. Yo, you can't do that. And I don't care who it is. Right? It could be prime Mike Tyson over there. He just gonna have to knock me out. There's some things that you just can't do to me because I'm a grown ass man. Like that right there. You can't do that to me and not have like me grab you. That's grounds for an asshole.
He said, "I think I'm in enough trouble as it is tonight, so I probably don't need to discuss the officiating with you guys." It's true. That'll do it for today's show. Thanks for joining us. Grizzlies Trailblazers tonight at FedEx Forum. Be there or be square. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about it all. We'll see you then. Bye.